We're 5 practices into the 2026 season. We'll go ahead and open up the questions if y'all are ready.
We're ready.
You want to lead us off, Chip?
Sure, absolutely. Hey, Courtney, first of all, I'm sure you're glad to be back on the field. And did you ask for this nice weather that we've gotten? Did you ask for that? Because thank you.
I know. You're welcome. You're right.
Yeah,
I asked for it and it delivered. No, it has
yeah.
been so nice. I know the first day back, our players were in short sleeves, and we've had a really great week. And it looks like we're gonna have another one coming up. So, yeah, it's been amazing.
Courtney, your team is you're loaded with good experienced players. Got a good number of players back from last year. Added some really good portal players. What is your confidence level going into this season, maybe as compared to any other season?
That's a loaded question, Chip.
Kind of is.
Um, I am confident. I'm confident. I think any coach coming back from break is always curious what their team did over the break of just like knowing, how the team progressed, how they developed, where we left them, where we leave them at the end of the fall semester, and then just hoping that they're committed to win the break. And so I think for this first week back, I think we feel like we have the pieces. I feel like we're confident in who we have in the locker room. And then you're just like, are they going to do what they need to do over break? And they did. And so, I think this week we were able to move so much quicker than even we projected, and what we needed to cover, what we need to prepare for, and just how the team came back physically, mentally. Um, I think that contributes to the confidence a coach is going to have in how they, approach season. But yeah, I don't know compared to other years. I don't know. You have to ask my staff. I have short-term memory with those type of things, but I think we feel really confident in this group.
Your pitching, of course, is a known commodity. You're deep there, deep and talented. But what about? It looks like defensively, you guys have also really improved, adding an elite outfielder. And then also answer that question, but I also want to get into Reagan Johnson and having her in the middle of your outfield back for what seems like she's been there forever. And what she brings as far as leadership, to your team.
Yes, I think to start with where you started your question, yeah, our pitching, we returned our whole staff. We added two incredibly talented freshmen, so I think we feel like we're as deep as we've ever been pitching wise. They this first week back look really strong. Look just they look like they worked their tails off over the break. And then when it comes to the defensive piece. Yeah, we had the best defense in Division I softball last year, and we added a Gold Glove winner in left field, and we added Tiana Bell, who will hold down first most likely, who is an exceptional glove. So I think that we feel defensively we're really solid, and then when talk about Reagan Johnson anchoring the outfield. I don't think there's a better center fielder in the game. And I thought she was the best center fielder last year too. And it's not a bias, it's a watch her play. Watch her play, watch her cover the ground, watch her make the big plays, watch her make the routine. Like what she does is game changing for us defensively. And I think she is in position to have her best year yet. But yeah, when you look at the outfield and you look at wow, you get Reagan Johnson for her fourth year. Feels like she's been here forever, and it also feels like it's absolutely flown by. But yeah, when you get Reagan Johnson anchoring your outfield, I think you feel pretty strong and pretty confident and what's going to happen out there.
Just one more question for me, Courtney. How do you feel the shoes of Bri Ellis? How do you feel that the numbers that she put up? Player of the year. I'm guessing one player can't do it, but how do you fill that hole?
I think that's going to be the big question. I think I'm going to get that question a lot is how you fill it. And I don't think we're asking exactly, Chip. I don't think we're asking one player to do it. But we added Dakota Kennedy and Tiana Bell, who are incredibly talented. And then we're adding another year to the rest of the lineup, and I think that that's how we do it. I think we do it by everybody kind of stepping up and filling that, because I think the big thing is, you're filling her power numbers, you're filling her on base. The thing I question is, like, we're filling her personality and her leadership, and those are the things that when I get asked those questions, those are the things that aren't considered. And Bri wasn't just a huge performer for us. She wore a lot of hats for us. And so there's a lot of things we have to fill even beyond the field. And so that's what we're seeing our team step up in. And I think that we're not asking one to do it. We're asking, a handful of them to do it, and they're up for that.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, Kyle, we'll go to you and then we'll go to Ethan.
Hey, Courtney, good to see you. I was going to also ask about position battles. So first base, you mentioned Tiana there. I was going to ask, I know Kaylee played a lot of first and fall ball. So that kind of leaves right field. Do you still have somewhat of an open competition there? Do you plan on maybe putting, and I know, if the season started today, you're not sure, but like you look Kaylee there again, maybe, or, one of some of the other options that you've been looking at previously?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think when Tiana's healthy, she's probably going to play first base as long as she's healthy. Kaylee can do it without even flinching. So having that there, Jaden Ramos has done a good job there and swings a big bat. But if you come to a practice, you're going to see you right away can see where the biggest competition is, and we have Dakota Kennedy in left field. There's like two taking reps out there. No one's taking reps with Reagan Johnson. And then you have like 7 deep in right field. So we have, a lot of players competing for it. And it's going to be interesting. Yeah, Kaylee's comfortable out there. It's hard to imagine her bat's not going to be in the lineup, but we have Ashton Reichart, we have Kamari Hall, we have Casey Wood taking reps out there, Brinley Bain taking we have 7 deep out there, and so they know that's the spot to compete for. And I think we're comfortable and confident with quite a few gloves out there. It's going to be an offensive battle.
Also, too, I was going to ask going into year 3 with DJ as the hitting coach. Last year, let's see, 24, you were 278 batting average. Last year, 320, I think it was. So saw a good jump there. And we talked about Bri being gone, obviously Courtney Day as well. It was another Reagan Kramer that was always seemed to get on base. So with 3 of those bats in particular out of the lineup now, how do you feel like you guys are coming along at this point?
I think we feel really good about it. I think we have, the potential to have one of the strongest lineups we've had in our time here. And I know we lose power numbers in Bri and Courtney, but we gained Dakota and Tiana and a freshman, Kamari Hall that can hit for power. We have Brinley Bain that can hit for power. And so, I think we feel like we have a really strong lineup throughout. So we'll see. We still have a few weeks before season. We feel like we're in a good spot. We feel like we have a lot of great options. I think our team knows exactly what to expect. I think they're really working with DJ really well. So I think we feel confident in it. We feel good.
And last one for me, kind of touching base with Chip's question about pitching. With Lily Faye and Sailor, I know both of them obviously top prospects coming out of 2025. Sailor, I think, was top 10. So where Peyton was kind of that one that stepped up as a true freshman last year and did some great things. Where do you see where Lily Faye and Sailor are at right now?
Well, I think that they had really great falls. And I think that their falls weren't straight lines. So I think that they're even primed more to have just be ready for the spring. And so I think they're going to add really great depth. I think they're going to throw some really big innings for us. And that's with a returning staff that I think has never looked better. And so I think that they know in this game and this how it's made up, we're going to need all of them. They do a really great job of building each other up and complementing each other. And so I feel like those two are ready to roll. And I feel really confident in the staff that we have.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan?
Hey, Courtney, just where's the team at from a health standpoint right now? I know Carly Davison missed the fall, right? I guess maybe start with her.
Carly Davison missed the fall. She's back and she is cleared to go. She's done everything other than dive on the field. That's the last thing, and that's kind of, I think when you talk to the doctors of the research, it's not a huge difference now versus 3 weeks, but why press it now when we have another 3-4 weeks to go? And so she worked her butt off over the break. I'm not sure she took a day off in the weight room at the field. She's looking really, really strong. Kamari Hall also missed the fall, had the same surgery as KD, maybe a couple weeks right behind, and she's got back out swinging last week, and I think we really like what we see there, especially having been out for 6 months and 5 months, whatever it was. But the team's healthy. Andrew, our Andrew Kreis, our athletic trainer, is incredible. I think he's one of the best in his field, and so he does a great job with them. But they're healthy. They're feeling good. You've got the first week under their belts, so they are feeling even better now than they were 5 days ago. But yeah, they're in a good spot.
What was that surgery again for Carly? Was it her shoulder? Am I making that up?
No, you're not making it. It was her labrum in her shoulder, in her glove shoulder.
Gotcha. It felt like last year, whenever the team, hit that adversity early in SEC, what carried you maybe through was some of the, leadership on the team. I know you mentioned Bri earlier, but I'm just curious with this team, whose voices do you think that the team really listens to?
Well, I think Reagan Johnson. I think Carly Davison. I think Robin Heron. I think Ella McDowell. I think Italia Riho. I think that this is a leadership by committee. I think last year's leadership was as strong as we've ever had. Reagan Kramer was one of the best leaders we've ever had come through here. And she, although she was very wired very differently than Bri, they both were excellent leaders in their own right. And then when you look at this year and kind of filling those shoes, we have players that have really stepped up. Carly Davison is just so solid. Our captains this year are Carly Davison, Reagan Johnson, and Robin Heron, and those three collectively just make a really great team. And then, I mean, you're just adding mature, seasoned veterans. We have a second-year Ella McDowell. We have Italia Riho, who's just so consistent. We have Dakota Kennedy, Tiana Bell, who are seniors, Kaylee Wyckoff. This team is just so mature and so seasoned that it's a leadership by committee. They just take care of business, take care of themselves, take care of each other. They do that really well.
For someone like Dakota to come in and there were all the, what she was ranked out of the portal and everything that, there's maybe could be a tendency, I guess, for a player to, feel a little pressure, especially coming in with the new surrounding. How do you feel like she's handled maybe just the adapting to a new team with, all that surrounded her committing to y'all in the first place?
Well, I laugh because if you're around Dakota Kennedy for 2 minutes, she doesn't feel pressure in anything that she does. So it made me just kind of have a chuckle. But I think that we are getting just a really like a really strong version of Dakota Kennedy. I think she's really comfortable here. She has embraced our team and our culture, and I just think that her personality is so unique and so infectious. I just think that I don't think she feels pressure in anything that she does. I think she's just really firm in who she is and knows exactly who she is and what she's capable of.
And I'll wrap up on this is we've heard a lot about Brinley Bain just from the fall and, even before she got here. What has she done that's been impressive to you? And, maybe where all positions could she play? She seems like a very versatile player.
Well, she could do anything on the field, and she is that person that, softball aside, she is going to be successful at anything that she tackles. Like that's who she is. And so when you ask what has she done, she's done every little thing right. She is our hardest worker, and we have hard workers. we are a working team, and she has raised that bar, which is just tremendous to even think about. But she works, she's tough. She is just her perspective. She is beyond her years. I could go on and on, but like whatever she decides she's going to do, she's going to do it because she is just headstrong. She's driven. I mean, she does everything right. She does everything right.
Kyle?
I had one more about kind of building on Tal. Just talking about my question with DJ. I think she probably maybe benefited the most in terms of just improvement last year. I think her batting average jumped 100 points, something like that. She obviously dominated for the Dominican Republic team. I don't mean to super put you on the spot here, but do you have maybe like somebody that we could see a big jump like that you've been maybe one or two that you've been seeing in practice that could have that kind of jump like Tal had last year?
Yeah, I mean, how fun were those bat flips she had for the Dominican Republic team? I mean,
Yeah.
come on, you know. Um, I that is a good question. I think we're going to see a jump in power with Ella. I mean, she's such a talented player and a talented hitter. She's just so hard to put away, but I think she's going to exert some will a little bit more this year and add some power numbers. I don't know. I don't know because it's hard to single one out. I think we're going to have a really strong lineup. I'm curious to see, with Kennedy and Brennan of behind the plate. I think Kennedy's going to have a great year. I think Bryn's going to add a lot offensively. So I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see all of them. Don't ask me to pick my favorite kid. I love Trip and Walt both, Just kidding.
Justin?
Yeah, I've got a couple for you, Courtney. Let me start with this one. If you look at the numbers, you guys are pretty consistent year to year, no matter expectations, no matter roster makeup, anything like that. How
Yeah,
much
thanks for pointing that out, Justin. Thank
how
you.
much does
Say
that
more.
consist
Tell me more. No.
how much of that consistency do you attribute to things you do like this point in the year? There's no games, you're just going through practice, you're getting back, you're getting into the groove. How much do times like this factor into that consistency that you guys show so much when the season starts?
Well, I'd like to think that everything we do factors into that. I think that we trust our system, we trust our prep and our development, and so I don't think we ever assume anything. And I think that we so I'd like to think that every day really matters to accumulating to that consistency. Did that answer your question?
Well enough.
Okay. So not really, not good enough. What else?
Uh,
What else do you want me to expand on?
Well, I mean, I'm just curious. I know you guys you have your processes and you stick to those no matter, roster, who's on the roster, transfers, freshman, whatever. So that's what I was curious about with that too. But it also leads into my next question, which was,
Well, I will say with that, it's like we don't cut corners with anything that we do. And so even though this team is seasoned and it's mature and we have a ton of returners, we still don't skip any steps. And so it's just making sure that they understand our systems that we're developing without, you know, pushing through some of those things. And maybe we'll move through some of them a little faster, but we're going to go through all of them and we're going to make sure that they're ready for anything that we can throw at them.
I wanted to ask you about the freshmen too, because when you bring freshmen in the fall, no matter how much talent you have, there's still a certain level of, okay, this is college ball for the first time. There's a certain level of you got to get adjusted. What have you seen from the freshmen coming back for the first time after winter break, first time getting ready for a season in this first week? What have you seen from the freshmen in terms of that readjustment level in this short period?
Well, I think that they just feel a little bit more settled in. I think that they, no matter what, no matter how ready you are, no matter if you're from close, you're from far, your first fall of your freshman years is tough. It's an adjustment. And I think what we're seeing from those five is they're just a lot more settled in. They're ready. They know what to expect. And they worked over the break. And I don't think that's unique to freshmen. I think it's transfers. I think everything. When you're in your first fall in a new program, for whatever the case, it's different. And you have to adjust and you have to find your place in that. And also know that you bring something really special to the table. And everyone goes through that process differently and at a different pace. And so I think what we're seeing from the freshmen is that they know their place, they know what they bring, and they're really settled in and know what to expect.
And last one for me. Do you feel like Wyckoff might catch it all this year? You mentioned Miller and Bain. Do you feel like you'll see her behind the? How many spots might we see Wyckoff in by the end of the year? I guess is a better question.
I don't know. She's really trying to campaign to just like throw a batter too. She used to be a pitcher. She hasn't won that battle with me yet. But you know, I don't know. I think right now in the short term, we're not expecting her to need to catch. Just because of Bryn being able to, you know, take some innings and work back there. But I'm not gonna say never to anything with Kaylee Wyckoff, because she really can do so many things for us, and she's solid back there. So I don't think that's our expectation, but I'm not gonna say you're not gonna see her.
Brett, do you have any questions?
Just one. So who is your favorite kid? So we can get that on the this is the time, you know, early in the year because the depth chart's being established.
I love all of my kids equally.
Okay, that's all I had. I just wanted to make sure.
Can I hop in with one real quick too, just on the same vein with Kaylee? On that train of thought, what's the value of having players on your team that really, you know, if push comes to shove, you can rely on them to fill a lot of hats?
There's a ton of value in that. I think when you're putting together the best lineup, the best defense, the best, you know, all of those things, you need those versatile players that can kind of plug and play in a lot of different places to make the best combination. And so there's a ton of value in that versatility and athleticism. And that's why it's like tough to say, where's Kaylee gonna fall? Where's Brinley Bain gonna fall? They can do so many things for us. And I don't know, it just gives you so much more when you have a hitting pitcher, all of those things that add versatility, it just makes you stronger in the big picture. And so it's huge.
I said last thing. I actually always have one more last thing, but to add Parker to your staff, what have you seen as far as just the benefit of that already?
Well, he just he's kind of just a jack of all trades. He, you know, he is ready and willing to do absolutely anything that he needs to for the program. It's been huge for me just having him back in the bullpen with our pitchers. We make a really good team in there. We think differently. We speak differently with the same goal in mind, so we can kind of hit a lot of different things. But also, as our jobs continue to change and we start to wear more hats, you know, it frees me up to do some of those things that I need to do for our program. And then also, he was dealing the other day on the mound, throwing 70s, spinning it on our pitchers with a good off speed. So he does a ton for us, and he's been a huge addition, as we knew he would be.
Justin?
I think I also said last one and also didn't mean it. It's very nuanced, but since we're here, I'm just curious. Do you know who's going to coach the bases this year? I'm trying to not be caught off guard the first time I see you for like the first year in 3.
Yeah, Parker's gonna be coaching first and Matt's gonna be coaching third.
Thanks.
That it?
I saw that in the fall. So are you retiring from coaching third?
Retiring is a really strong word. I think just transitioning, trying to figure out, you know, that best combination. He does a great job out there. Frees me up a little bit to do some in the dugout with the pitchers and just be a little more present in there. I don't know. We're just kind of mixing things up and seeing how it works. And we did it through the fall, and I I really liked it. So
He will be closer to the umpires, you realize, as opposed to that 5 seconds it takes to get out of the dugout. He could be
yep, let that
there.
be their warning.
Okay.
Courtney,
All
when
right.
was the last time you didn't coach third? I'm going to note that.
I've never not. So this
I
fall.
thought that's okay. So I thought it was the whole time you've been. Okay. I'm just making
Yeah.
sure I wasn't wrong
So
on
I've
that.
always been out at third base, and
Yeah.
so we'll see.
Okay.
We need to mix up the juju. Maybe we'll mix it back. No, I'm just kidding. We're pretty consistent.